In this video, we're breaking down 5 powerful studies that cut your risk of early death by 74%, that bust myths, think your metabolism is slowing as you age, reveal powerful tools your smartwatch might be lying to you, how many steps do you really need to live longer, and give you a science-backed strategy for weight loss. Each one is eye-opening, but together, they create a clear roadmap to take control of your metabolism, movement, and long-term success. Let's start with the big one. Does your metabolism really slow down as you age? It's a common belief. I can't lose weight as I age because my metabolism is slow. But this massive study spanning 6,400 people from 29 countries found something surprising. Using the gold standard of metabolism tracking, doubly labeled water, researchers found that metabolism remains stable from ages 20 to 60. It only starts to decline after 60, and even then by just 0.7% per year. To dig deeper, researchers built a model, either assuming people stayed just as active throughout life or slowly became more sedentary. They then compared which model matched the real-world data best. Spoiler, when they assumed people did not move less as they aged, the model did not match the real-world data. When they assumed people got more sedentary, it did. Meaning, the main reason energy expenditure drops as we age isn't a slowing basal metabolism. It's that we start to move less and become more sedentary as we get older. This is good news because if you want to maintain your metabolism, you just have to find ways throughout your life to keep that activity up. Now, let's build on this with study number 2. A big fear with metabolism and weight loss is that after you lose weight, your metabolism is going to tank and it dooms you to regain the weight. But let's look at a study that examined an extreme weight loss case. This study followed Biggest Loser contestants for 6 years and tried to answer this concern. The Biggest Loser was an insane reality TV show where contestants competed to lose the most weight through very unrealistic levels of dieting and exercise. I'm talking on average 128 pounds over 30 weeks. So for these contestants, 6 years after their weight loss, yes, metabolism slowed down, and to a degree that could not be quite explained by their reduced body weight. But what was so unexpected is that participants who kept the most weight off were the ones that had the biggest reductions in their basal metabolism. Yet, they were also the ones that maintained the highest levels of daily physical activity 6 years later. Let me help you interpret this correctly. Yes, weight loss can lower your basal metabolic rate, sometimes more than expected. But this study, and others like it, show that this drop in metabolism is a terrible predictor of long-term success. The best predictor, despite changes in basal metabolism, is keeping your daily movement up. Now this is an extreme case, so let's look at a more realistic setting. This weight loss study followed 5,000 plus adults over 8 years. One group received a 1-year intense lifestyle intervention, the other group just got basic education. They then compared weight loss between the two groups over an 8-year period of time. But for our purposes, we're just interested in the lifestyle intervention group of this study, ignoring the basic education group. This intervention did what you would expect. Got people to eat healthier, in a calorie deficit, and engage in more weekly physical activity. Within this group, over the 8 years, we want to look at what made one participant more successful than another one. Specifically, the ones that maintained at least 10% of their weight loss over 8 years compared to the ones that ended up gaining weight from where they started. Not shockingly, the two biggest factors between these two groups was sticking to their healthy diet and staying active. But here's the shocking part. Those who kept the weight off didn't do anything extreme. They just stuck to their diet 10 weeks more each year and burned only 670 more calories per week from physical activity, the equivalent of a 10-minute daily walk, meaning you don't need extreme things to dominate your life. You likely just need to focus on maintaining the level of physical activity used to lose weight to keep it up. And the next 2 studies are going to help you do just that. What tools can you use to make this easy? Many people use calorie burn trackers to measure their physical activity, and it's not good. A review of 158 studies show that most calorie burn estimates are wildly inaccurate, anywhere from 27 to 92%. I mean, a watch that tells you burn 1,800 calories in a day with a 25% error, on the good side, can still be off by 450 calories, often overestimating. That's a lot. If you overestimate your calorie burn, you tend to eat more calories to compensate. On the other hand, this study showed that step counts were much more reliable. If they did have an error, they tended to underestimate steps, which is way better than overestimating. So, forget calorie burn estimates, focus on step counts. They're a simple, reliable way to measure movement without the risk of overcompensating with food. But how many steps should you work towards? This is one of my favorite studies in recent years because it's just so powerful. A massive meta-analysis combined data from 47,000 adults, looking at how the number of steps people took each day correlated with all-cause mortality, which is the percent of people that die within a given period of time. Essentially, we're looking at, do steps increase or decrease risk of death? And if so, how many? The results were incredible. Step count had basically a linear, dose-dependent response reducing mortality risk. Simply put, people who got more daily steps died less by a lot. This line is absolutely insane. For every 1,000 steps someone took, they had an equally proportional reduced risk in death. To put this in perspective, a person getting 2,000 steps a day has a hazard ratio of 2.1. Someone getting 8,000 steps a day, hazard ratio drops to 0.55. This calculates to a 74% reduction in risk of death. The benefits for adults under 60 plateau at 8 to 10k steps per day. For those over 60, it was 6 to 8k steps per day. Finding such a strong effect in all-cause mortality in a real-world setting with such a large sample size using such a simple tool is incredible. Also, these step targets are reasonable to hit in a day. And what's even better, you get benefits each time you make a modest improvement. So steps are fantastic to measure physical activity. Not only will getting 6 to 10k steps a day help you lose weight, but it will also lower your risk of disease in general. So let's look at all of this together and create an action plan. It appears your basal metabolism isn't plummeting as you age. You're in control of it through your daily movement and muscle mass. Even though metabolism may slow after weight loss, keeping up the level of physical activity you had to lose weight is one of the single most important factors to keep it off, regardless of any basal metabolic changes. To track your physical activity, which is the part of your metabolism you influence, you should use steps, not calorie burn estimates. For every 1,000 steps you add to your daily step count, there will be lifelong benefits. Maximize those benefits by working up to 6 to 10k steps a day depending on your age. Individually, these studies are useful, but together they paint a picture. You control your metabolism, and the biggest, most important lever is your movement. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.